And welcome to the Poleshift News, guys. As you can see, the new data's in. It's been uploaded onto the website already if you want to go and have a look at that. And of course, there is an archive of data for both now the TriMag and the magnetosphere data. As you can see, there's been a bit more activity. Last month it was a little bit quieter, but recently we're starting to get an uptick again, guys. And I'm going to show you the raw data a bit later on with regards to what the TriMag is actually collecting. Just before we do, you can see on the TriMag it has collected on just one of its magnetometers over 250,000 separate bits of information on the heading of the magnetic North Pole. Remember, we're concentrating on the region in between the two poles at the moment over the Northern Hemisphere. That's what our TriMag system looks at, and every 3 seconds it collects a new data packet. What we've got recently happening over the last 4 to 5 months, what I can only describe as probably magnetic jets, and it's only because of the resolution that we are able to capture these. It's not something that NASA or the ESA with regards to the Swarm mission put out for people to see, but you know, our resolution is very high. Not many, I wouldn't assume that even the Swarm mission collects data in every 3-second intervals. So you know, this is just, like I say, off one of the magnetometers. It's a TriMag system, so there's 3, and you know, it's collecting nearly 500,000 to 700, sorry, yeah, from 500 to 700,000 individual data packets on the position of the magnetic North Pole at the moment. A little bit more about these jets that we're starting to see. Now, one thing for sure, guys, is, you know, without a doubt, the magnetic North Pole hasn't stopped migrating. It's usually recording, as you can see on this chart, around about just over 11 now, all the time. Every time we take the data out, we can see the majority of the readings are all over 11 degrees, and that means that the pole is definitely moving, and it won't be long before we start seeing 12 degrees constantly up. But what we are getting are these jets, and we get like a hit on one of the magnetometers now and then, and I'll show you the dates that we've had these little we've picked up on these jets. That's what I'm assuming they are, but what I'm saying is that this new behaviour is a recent thing, and we're lucky enough with our equipment to be detecting this. And you know, I think it's signs of things that are going to be, you know, increasing with regards to the activity. I know that compared to the other magnetic jets that we've caught, these like little 1-minute shots where they fly up to about 13 degrees. You know, they only happen rarely, but we're capturing them when they do happen. And the thing is that they're increasing, and you know, this only began to happen about 4 to 5 months ago now. This is the activity that I mentioned before NASA did, and I think it's related to the reduction over the Canadian pole. I reckon it's to do with that high intensity region reducing all the time, and you know, we're starting to see this new behaviour with the magnetic jets, and like I say, we're lucky to pick them up. But you can see on the chart quite clearly that there is a few blocks where it's gone up quite high, you know, into, you know, around about the 12.5, 13 degrees. So you know, there is activity. It is on the increase. The poles are still migrating, but we're getting this new anomaly take place with regards to these magnetic jets. And you know, what it causes the magnetometer to do is capture a higher reading for a very brief period of time. And you know, this is great, guys. This is, you know, I think the equipment's working a lot better than what I anticipated it would. You know, I didn't expect to be you know, seeing this activity with our equipment, but you know, there is no reason why we shouldn't. You know, the magnetometers are quite sensitive, and we've backed them up with another 2 on top of that. The magnetosphere chart below the TriMag chart, as you can see, it's still bumping around 190 microteslas. 199 microteslas. It hasn't peaked below the 198 or gone above the 200, and if it has, it's only done so recently, looking at that, and it wasn't for a very long period of time. So no real decay in the magnetosphere strength whilst this new activity has been going on. But we don't know how it's going to affect the magnetosphere further on down the line when the Canadian high intensity region, or that pole over Canada, finally collapses. What we do know is that the poles, the magnetic pole right now, or at least where our equipment points to, and your compasses will point to, will shift rapidly when that high intensity region collapses completely. And we're probably not too far away from that happening. And I think that when that does happen, I think it's going to be a catalyst for the magnetic reversal to take place. I don't think it's going to be very long after that point in time that we do get a complete reversal. So we could be looking within the next decade, or less than 10 years for a full magnetic reversal. Like I've said before in other videos recently, I think we're probably 5 to 7 years away, and that's judging on the decay of that region over Canada right now. With regards to the new magnetometers, we're still, can you believe it guys, waiting for these battery carriers and the other 3 magnetometers, although we only need 2 to arrive. As soon as they do, we can start sending them out. They're all programmed, they're built, finished. I've even built them, the other ones that need the magnetometer, so that we can just slide the chip straight on over the wiring loom for them, and seal them back up and then get them dispatched. So it's going to be probably a week or so now before we get those out to people. And other than that, guys, that's the Poleshift news update. I'm going to put an alert on this because again we're capturing those those jets. But before I end this video, I will show you the raw data so you can see for yourselves the dates when we're picking up these jets. And you can see the strength of the jets are over 13 degrees, and that's an unusual reading for our Trimag system, because on average it just records just over 11 degrees at the moment, which is an indication from when we started that the pole has always migrated, and it's doing a great job, like I say. So let's have a look at that raw data. So here's our raw data. In column B is the heading. That's really what we're focusing on with these magnetic jets and this new anomaly that's taking place. Over on the right hand side, column F, G and H is the day of the month and the year, and then the columns before F is hours, minutes and seconds. And you can see all the data is different apart from the heading. And when we capture one of these magnetic jets, you can see that it sends our heading up to 13 degrees, which would be 2 degrees more than what it should be. These are becoming more frequent now. We've had a lot more than what we did last month. It was a relatively quiet month for these magnetic jets last month, but the month before was a little bit heavier. But I think that this month has been probably the most successful in capturing the data on the magnetic jets. This is telling us, guys, that something is definitely building up to happen over that magnetic north region at the moment with the 2 poles. And I believe the focal point for me, what I'm interested in, is what's taking place right now over Canada. Because when that high intensity region, like I said, dissipates, we're going to see a shift in the position of where our sensors detect the magnetic pole, which is in between the 2 poles, and our compasses point at the moment to that region as well. But I think what it's going to do, it's going to act as a catalyst, which is going to accelerate the magnetic reversal at that point. And I think as time goes on, we're going to see more and more of these magnetic jets that we're picking up, these short periods of time where probably a squirt of molten magma flies across somewhere over that northern hemisphere with a richer pole, and as it does so, it captures it on our equipment, and that's what we're picking up. And I think that these jets are happening more frequently now, and as a result of it, we're capturing them. And it's only because the resolution that we focus on with our equipment that we're able to do this. If we wasn't focusing every 3 seconds, we probably would be missing all these. So, you know, there's probably more jets that's taking place, but I don't think it's worth, you know, setting up the TriMag now to monitor more than 3 seconds at the moment. I just think if we carry on the way we are, you know, at least we've got something to base on, you know, because if we keep monitoring them over 3 seconds, if the activity does become more frequent, we're going to capture it in any case. The only time I probably would reduce the amount of seconds that we have and increase the resolution to probably 1 second. I mean, we could take headings. This is how good our equipment is. We could take headings every 1,000th of a second, but you know what? The amount of data and trying to compile the charts with that would probably blow my CPU up in this computer, because you know it's very ill at the moment anyhow, guys. So you know it's just not worth doing at the moment. But if more activity, sporadic activity starts to take place, then you know we'll look at it. So there you go, guys. You know that's why you know so many people fund us. We've got a unique platform here, and you know if you want to help fund it, you know you want to keep this information going, keep the observatory running, you know, and we are, I think, a successful observatory, then the links are down there, guys. You know, you can support us on PayPal or on Patreon at the moment. So you know, guys, and let's not forget as well, guys, we've got the website there with all the other anomalies that we cover, like earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, sea ice levels. You've got radar, satellite images on there. You've got space weather. There is a ton of information. We also look at the Schumann frequency regularly. We've got live coverage of the solar disk with regards, and all the information with regards to that, protons, x-rays, and KP index, everything, you name it, guys. You know, it's all on that website, and we're covering pretty much every anomaly on the planet, as well as, you know, the TriMag and the magnetosphere sensor data that we put up as well, that we collect ourselves. And shortly, guys, it doesn't stop there. We are going to be collecting data from different vantage points around the world with our new magnetometers, and as soon as the parts come, hopefully they will be here in the next week or two, we can start collecting that data and adding that to the website. So you know, it's well worth supporting, guys. It's a unique platform. There's only one of our channels like it. Like I say many times, we don't just talk about it, we actually do the work as well. We collect the data, and we are an official observatory that monitors the you know, the condition with relationship to the migrating poles and the magnetosphere of our planet. So guys, I'll leave it there. You know, have a good week, and I'll catch up with you around next Monday, because I'm away for a couple of days. So you know, guys, as always, I'll say what I usually do. Links down there if you want to support us, that's great. And I'll see you next week. Have a good time, and I'll catch up with you then. Bye for now.